So I just bumped into these guys in the street in Edinburgh.
I actually found other YouTubers.
How's it going? I'm Johnny. It's Isabel.
Johnny and Isabel, super nice guys. You may recognize Johnny from Vox, a small up-and-coming YouTube channel. You should definitely check them out. They're very cool people, really nice people. Check them out and tell them I said hi, whatever that means. So today, ironically enough, coming from that, I want to talk about social media and our addiction to social media, because I think it's quite a problem, and I know I'm addicted to social media, and that means you're probably addicted to social media as well. So do you know who this guy is? This guy is Sean Parker. You may recognize him from the Social Network movie, played by Justin Timberlake.
I'm Sean Parker. How do you do?
That guy there. So he was, let me get this right, he was co-founder of Napster and first president of Facebook. And a few months ago he came out with this in an interview.
The unintended consequences of a network when it grows to 1 billion or 2 billion people, it literally changes your relationship with society, with each other. It probably interferes with productivity in weird ways. God only knows what it's doing to our children's brains.
It's pretty shocking, right? Especially from someone who used to be at the top of Facebook, right at the top of the chain. Now, I don't want to draw a direct comparison between Facebook and the way tobacco companies used to act, probably because I'll wake up one morning and find my Facebook account's been deleted or something. But it is really funny how similar they are in a way. So imagine someone at Philip Morris or one of these cigarette companies said, our cigarettes will change your relationship with society, for one, interfere with productivity, consume as much of your time, conscious attention, and money as possible. It'd be pretty shocking, right? I know cigarette companies didn't admit to the adverse effects of smoking for like 40 or 50 years, something like that. I don't know. I'm a millennial, so I'd have to Google it to find out. Ooh. But it took ages for them to come out with how awful cigarettes were and the negative effects they had on people. Facebook's only been around for 14 years, and already people who were involved fairly early from the start are talking about some of the negative effects of it. See, the thing about a cigarette is it gives you a little dopamine hit. It's like a social validation loop. You know, you go out, you have them with your friends, maybe on your lunch break or on a night out, and it exploits a vulnerability in human psychology. The people who invented cigarettes and the people behind those companies, they knew that consciously, and they did it anyway. And I think that's pretty shocking. I think what's more shocking actually is the fact that it wasn't me who said that, it was actually Sean Parker.
That thought process was all about, we need to sort of give you a little dopamine hit every once in a while, and that's going to get you, you know, it's a social validation feedback loop, because you're exploiting a vulnerability in human psychology. And I think that the inventors, creators, understood this consciously, and we did it anyway.
I don't know about you, but I don't like getting addicted to things. That was totally not intentional, but also slightly worrying. Do you know who this guy is? Justin Rosenstein. I believe he used to work for Google, and I want to read this out actually. So he's recently tweaked his laptop's operating system to block Reddit, banned himself from Snapchat, which he compares to heroin, and imposed limits on the use of Facebook. He's purchased a new iPhone and instructed his assistant to set it up with parental control features to prevent him from downloading any apps. He was particularly aware of the allure of Facebook likes. That might not sound pretty surprising. I think we're all pretty addicted to this technology. I think that's safe to say. But what I do think is surprising about it is that he's the guy that came up with the Facebook like. He invented it, and he knows how addictive and how bad these things are. Do you know who this guy is? Obviously, I don't need to explain who he is, hopefully. But I think it's interesting that he didn't used to let his kids play with the iPad because he thought they were too addictive. And that's Steve Jobs. Now, I'm just as addicted as anyone. In fact, I'm probably more addicted than anyone actually, to be honest. And I don't dispute that. So I met those guys from Vox. Within minutes, I was on their Instagram accounts looking at their stuff. After my last video came out, the one which included some stuff from Tim Ferriss, I tweeted him and he liked that tweet. And after that, I couldn't stop checking Twitter to see what else was happening. Marie Forleo.
Damn.
Dang, indeed, Marie. She liked it as well, and I couldn't help but check and constantly check and check to see what was happening, even though not much. I couldn't help but check. So without a doubt, I am just as, if not more, addicted to these sorts of things as anyone. I've started a new YouTube channel, and I'm releasing content, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite, but I still think it's important for us to talk about social media and its addictive nature. What I am saying is that in this smoking company Facebook analogy, maybe instead of us each smoking 50 cigarettes a day, we should start to cut down to just one and see how that goes. Yeah. For the video I'm releasing next week, next Monday, it's quite an interesting one. It's more of a kind of artsy, I don't want to say artsy, it makes me sound so stuck up, but more of a sort of production. And it's a video which, scarily enough, is drawing comparison between drugs from the 50s and 60s and social media today. And then the week after, I'm hopefully releasing like a tips video on how to start to combat addiction to these sorts of social networks. So you can check that out on my next YouTube video, ironically enough. And if you want to check me out on Twitter and Instagram, then just don't. It's too addictive. Don't do it. Don't you dare. That's it. Might try to steal a croissant before I go. Croissant.